The problem is that because your mom is the only person that's ever gonna feel sorry for you, you think that the world is gonna feel sorry for you, and it ain't. The only person in this world that will ever feel sorry for you and tell you that it's okay to quit or okay to succumb to your emotions or okay with any of that stuff is your mom. The only person in the world is gonna do that. Your wife won't do that. Your kids won't do that. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. The only person gonna feel sorry for you is your mama. That is it. And so she will encourage you to take care of yourself, but really, for the most part, it's just quitting. Because women do not have to take the accountability that men do. Because once again, women have all kinds of systems to prop them back up. Because remember, they are the business. They are the thing, right? So they got men are gonna feel sorry for them. They got the community is gonna feel sorry for them. And these are all entities that are gonna help. Some community, men, church, family members, the church community, government. You got about 6 deep to where she ain't gotta take no accountability ever. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? I don't think you got that. I don't think you got that. I think that if you keep on acting that way and saying that it's normal, I think the whole community is in a lot of trouble. Oh yeah, that's right. It already is. Well, here we are again, doing the things. Okay, I am going to talk to you today. It's going to be a little bit different, not very much different in terms of talking about this black church cult. Again, I'm always going to say what it is for first-time people, and that's going to be the spirit of bondage and the political exclusivity of the, right now, the far left, political progressive left, and the Antichrist as a replacement of Christ, matriarchy. Okay, those are the threefold cord right there that hold it all together. So, and that's why the bondage feeds them, and then they feed each other in terms of the political exclusivity, saying that, you know, hey, we're going to cater to the single moms, and that single moms gets you into one financial income, and therefore, you know, puts you in bondage, stuck in that area, and then stuck in. It's a lot that goes into it, but it is always feeding each other in every level. Okay, because you're not allowed to leave. That's where the spirit of bondage comes into. You're not allowed to leave the progressive left, and you're not allowed to be the man that God's asking you to be within a matriarchy. Otherwise, it's a threat. It's not good. Blah 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 blah. Right? So, I wanted to talk to you today about something that I've been observing for a while, and that is what I've been talking about before, which is the matriarchy. When you're raised by a single mom, you learn single mom things. This is not disrespectful for single moms, because again, but you learn that you can freak out and get mad and get all your emotions and things like that, you know, as a man from your mom, because you see her do it. So therefore, you're not thinking that, hey, I'm a man, I have testosterone. If I keep on doing this, someone's gonna die. So you're not really thinking about that. You're just thinking that this is all normal. But part of being a man is actually learning to control and sheath your sword, right? It's learning to do that. It's learning to control the superpower of testosterone and responsibilities that are inherent in that. Because after all, the burden of responsibility, or influence, more accurately, the burden of influence is on the men. That's why ladies, children, they want to do everything that we do. They want to build everything that we do. They want to do it. They want to do it. We have a biological interest towards that. That's why we're biologically made to manipulate the environment and solve problems and things like that. You know, we're just kind of wired that way because we have a biological interest in that. We like to build things. I don't care if it's building your comic book collection. We like to build things. Okay? I don't care if you're building your roster in 2K. We like to build things. Right? That is our nature. That's how God made us. And with ladies, it's more relational. They like to build relationships. And they're not necessarily having to worry about building anything. They are the thing to build. So that's why you have the hair and makeup. That's why you have the building relationships. That's why when you say something disparaging towards a lady, then they're like, wait a minute, I am the building. So I had to defend myself. And that's where you get a lot of the things where it's like, hey, I don't want to sound bad or look bad or whatever it is. With us men, we take on the chin because we're not looked at as our value is inherently with us. It's in what we build. With them, it's inherently in them. So therefore, hey, don't be talking about my me. You know what I'm saying? Dudes like, don't be talking about my business or my collection or my roster or whatever, you know. Or women, just like, don't be talking about me. Okay? my business, right? And so when you look at a lot of these rappers, these rap men, right? Or you look at a lot of this behavior you might see on World Star, people fighting in the street, things like that, you know. Ain't that feminine? Like, it's so relational. It's so feminine and overly emotional, because women can get upset and scream and things like that, you know. And nothing really is going to happen on terms of like physically what's going to happen. Nothing really is going to happen. You might get into a fight, might get, you know, your hair pulled and things like that, you know. But with men, when we get into altercations, so like, you can't take the same energy of a woman and just staple on top of a man and say that that is okay. Can't do that. I learned that when I was in college. I was finished my degree, so my college was in state, so therefore stayed home, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what everyone wanted me to do, so I went ahead and stayed home. And there would be these back and forths because, frankly, my mom could be very, very emotional, right? And then that would get me emotional. And so now we're both emotional, and I get so frustrated that I thought I was just gonna like tap the wall in frustration. Nope, put a hole in the wall. Whoops. And I'm not a big dude at all, right? Even me, this is me at my heaviest. I'm like 167 now. Back then, I was completely underweight, like 123 or something like that. And I was like 25, 24 when it happened, something like that. Real little, underweight, real little. And put a hole in the wall. I was like, oh. Now see, my mom would always tell me this. She would always say that, Justin, you can't get as emotional as I'm getting because you're a man. I didn't know what she meant by that. I understood on that day. Maybe even when I was even younger. I'm not quite sure when that happened. But it happened some time ago during my college years. And I was like, oh. So I tried to move out immediately after that, you know, but when you look at these rap men, it's gossipy, it's petty. Tell me the difference between what a rap beef is in terms of behavior wise, in terms of he said, she said, in terms of overly emotional. Describe to me the difference between that person and an angry baby mama. Tell me the difference. Tell me the difference. What is the difference? Full of insults, guilt, the need to be right, everything that Kevin Samuels, you know, don't agree with everything that the guy said, but everything the guy said in terms of, you know, what some of these angry women would be like, you can apply it to rap dudes. You can apply it to them like directly. And if they did grow up in a two-parent household, they had to play like they're products of the black church. The products of the black church, because you have these single mama homes, you have these kids raised under these parameters and in this environment, and so therefore they all kind of act the same. So even if you're not from that, when it comes to hip-hop in particular, that's what you gotta play like. You gotta be that. Otherwise, you're not tough, you're weak, you're, you know, a punk, whatever else. But when you look at it, you know, these rappers don't act like men. They act like angry women. Almost every last one of them. Talking about each other on records. Just all up in their feelings about anything, you know. Hey, I heard so-and-so. Just disparaging each other, gossiping, talking. Like, it's weird. There's nothing about it that's tough. When you give yourself over to those emotions, and it manifests in violence and things like that, that shows that you're weak. That shows that someone holds power over you and they can get you to crash completely out. It means you're weak. It don't mean you're strong. It means you're completely weak. It means that I can say something to you and play you all the way to the point where you do something stupid and crash out, and then you go to jail. And I didn't have to do anything. And then when you look at the government is betting on that. Private prisons are betting on that. The music and entertainment industry is betting on that. That's why they pay you to crash out. They pay you to crash out. They pay you to be overly emotional. They pay you to act like women. I don't care if you go back to the 90s. It's still feminine behavior. It's still feminine behavior. All the beef start, well, homegirl said blah, 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 and so she said blah, 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 and so he said, and so she said, well, now we gotta do something. Baby mom stuff. Like, they both sound the same. Almost identical. It'd be funny if it wasn't so sad, but no, you are absolutely weak for crashing out. That's for little kid stuff and women. You can't crash out as a grown man. By then you got responsibilities. And the mark of a man, the mark of actual masculinity, is how much you volunteer yourself to greater and greater responsibilities. Do you volunteer yourself to that? It's like, I ain't gotta do this, but I'm going to do this and take care of this. This is part of my territory. This is the place where God wants me to be at. So therefore, I'm going to then protect and provide based off of my charge in terms of the territory, aka the people that God's given me. That's masculinity. It's not about just going around and just fornicating and just being weird. Just being a weird, irresponsible twerp. But the problem is that because your mom is the only person that's ever gonna feel sorry for you, you think that the world is gonna feel sorry for you. And it ain't. The only person in this world that will ever feel sorry for you and tell you that it's okay to quit or okay to succumb to your emotions or okay, any of that stuff is your mom. Only person in the world is gonna do that. Your wife won't do that. Your kids won't do that. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. The only person gonna feel sorry for you is your mama. That is it. And so she will encourage you to take care of yourself, but really, for the most part, it's just quitting. Like, because women do not have to take the accountability that men do. Because once again, women have all kinds of systems to prop them back up. Because remember, they are the business. They are the thing, right? So they got men are going to feel sorry for them. They got the community is going to feel sorry for them. And these are all entities that are going to help. Some community, men, church, family members, the church community, government. You got about 6 deep to where she ain't got to take no accountability ever. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? I don't think you got that. I don't think you get that. I think that if you keep on acting that way and saying that it's normal, I think the whole community is in a lot of trouble. Oh yeah, that's right. It already is. So this is why I keep on exposing this, because once again, if the gatekeepers are gone, if the men are gone, then every entity, every culture. Right now, the big thing is about, trying to boycott Asian. No. Every culture that we encounter as African Americans, because of the data, because of the lack of gatekeepers who are men, not F-boys, not F-boys, not F-boys. Men, the way I'm describing them. Men, those people who are cautious about who they are going to be with because they don't want to be with the wrong woman. Men, when there's a lack of that, everything takes advantage of it. The private prison system takes advantage of it. The entertainment industry takes advantage of it, because when they see dysfunction, they see entertainment value. They don't value you. They value the fact that men don't actually act like this. This is a spectacle. Men don't talk this way. Let's put a beat to it and make some music. Because there'll be some rappers out there and they will 100% on the mixtape be talking about some real stuff. But then when you get the label deal, they're talking about a bunch of garbage. We'll save that for the album cut. We're not gonna push that on the radio. We're gonna save it for the album cut. The ignorance is gonna be front and center. And the problem is that, again, ladies, at least like emotional, they're like emotional waves, right? Because they're relational, they want to feel something. And God made them that way, so okay, cool. Really, they're supposed to be feeling something on the assignment that God is putting in front of them in the form of the leadership of men. We're supposed to be experiencing that stuff together and communing under God with that emotional variance. But when that's not really happening, it's just emotional variance. So she might say something to make you mad just to get some emotional variance from the day. Doesn't mean she actually means it. A lot of things women don't actually mean. They just be saying it because, again, they want to dial into the frequency. They want to dial into that emotion. That's why it takes 45 minutes to ask for ice cream. They want to paint the emotion of getting the ice cream rather than actually asking for it, because that's how women communicate. So she might say something to you crazy. You get all in your feelings about it, and you start arguing back with her as if you're a woman. No. For us, it's got to be fight or leave. Leave. And so they're farming all of y'all. They're farming us for content, for prison, and for votes. That's all you are. So until the gatekeeping men, those men step into play, cooked. Absolutely cooked. You gotta be careful out there, men. You gotta be men. Because your mama is never going to get you to be a man. Because she does not have it in her. She'll encourage you. My mom encouraged me about it, but she don't know what it means. She don't know the nuances of it. And that's why the best single moms put their sons around coaches and men and sports balls and all that type of stuff. That's why they do that. It's probably the smartest move to make if you're a single mom. Put them in sports and dedicate them towards that. Dedicate yourself towards that. Give them around men as much as possible, because there's just a different level of conversation that happens amongst the men. Get them around gatekeepers. But every culture is going to take advantage of some culture that doesn't have gatekeepers. Every last one of them. There's money to be made off of all of them. So, Mike was talking about, the tiny hat people. Mike and other rappers been talking about the tiny hat. They've been doing that, in terms of these music execs or whatever it is. It's like, but they only do that because no gatekeepers. Men are supposed to be gatekeeping. You're supposed to keep yourself together, because the ramifications of you just thinking that you can adapt the same philosophy as your moms or women do and think that ain't no difference between the two of us. Oh, there's a huge difference between the two of you. Don't act like it right now. There's a huge difference. And they're counting on you to keep thinking there is no difference. And they're going to keep on marketing to you that there is no difference. That's why they push the matriarchy and not the patriarchy. That's why they push that. I'm going to push the patriarchy though. Like sometimes, Pops need to tell you, no. Pops needs to tell you, we don't do that here. Your last name is this. Your last name Fox. We don't do this. Your last name Smith. We don't do this. Your last name Rothwell. We don't do this. Don't do it again. Because the burden of identity and influence is on the men. So if the men are wilding out, acting stupid and acting feminine and everything, and you're calling it masculinity, don't be surprised when the women start acting the exact same way. Because like I said, they're the ones. Maybe I get hyper masculine and out of control also. They're following you. But you keep on acting like them. And so now the whole thing is completely borked. So once again, show me what's the difference. What is the difference between these rap beefs and angry baby mama behavior? Gangsterism and angry baby mama behavior. Like, what's the difference? Emotional, wearing tight clothes? Like, what is the difference now? Negroes is out here with full skincare regimens. Like, what's the difference? Well, take care of your skin. Healthy melanin is. But anyway, that's my time. I want you to think, meditate, and pray about that. I need you to step into manhood. I need you to look at these things, the masculine framework, and I need you to know that you are the gatekeeper, and that every other country, nation, everyone else has gatekeepers for a reason. And you can't let the matriarchal leg of this black church system tell you that you're not needed or that you don't matter. You do. That's why they keep their gatekeepers. They keep their men around and encourage you not to, because they're making too much money off of the prison systems, because they know what's going to happen. Making too much money off of that entertainment bag, because look at all this dysfunction right here. No sane people act this way. Put a camera on them. Make some money. Listen to this music. No one talks to each other this way. All I'm doing ain't having beef with, I don't know, Freddie Mercury. Like, who talks this way? Make some music out of that. Look at all this function out here. They need us. The government says they need us. Let's go ahead and throw them a bone. Help them out. Lock in the vote in perpetuity. And all we gotta do is just give them a little bit. Not enough to make a difference, but enough to satisfy a little bit. Yeah, that's what happens when the men aren't around. That's gonna keep on happening until whoever generation I'm talking to decides to actually gatekeep and be like, we're not doing this. I will build, and I will build in the way that God wants me to build. At the end of the day, Christ is true north. That's where you need to go ahead and start pointing yourself towards in order for any of this stuff to make sense. Love y'all. Catch you on the remix. Jesus is Lord. Doggone it.